As winter's chill thaws and the first signs of spring emerge, it's time to prepare your garden for a season of growth. This transition from the cold, dormant winter months to the vibrant, budding days of spring is more than just a change in temperature. It's an opportunity to revitalize your garden, to cultivate new life, and to witness the magic of nature's rebirth. Spring preparation is a labor of love, a chance to connect with the earth and to set the stage for a successful gardening season. It's about more than just planting seeds. It's about understanding your garden's unique needs, nurturing the soil, and creating an environment where plants can thrive. This process is not just for the seasoned gardener with a green thumb, it's for anyone with a love for nature and a desire to bring their garden to life. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or just starting out, planning and preparing your garden for spring planting is crucial for a bountiful harvest. Knowing your planting zone is the first step towards successful gardening. If you've ever wondered why your neighbor's peonies are blooming while yours are wilting, it might be because you're not planting for your zone. But what exactly is a planting zone? Simply put, it's a geographical area defined by its climate, particularly its average low temperature. These zones help gardeners determine which plants are most likely to thrive in their local environment. The United States Department of Agriculture, or USDA, has divided North America into 13 distinct planting zones, each representing a 10-degree Fahrenheit difference in average annual minimum temperature. Zone 1 is the coldest, with temperatures dipping below -50 degrees Fahrenheit, while Zone 13 is the warmest, where temperatures never go below 60 degrees. Now, why is this important? Plants, like humans, have preferences. Some like it hot, while others prefer cooler temperatures. By knowing your planting zone, you can choose plants that are well suited to your area's climate, increasing the chances of a successful and bountiful garden. So how do you find your planting zone? It's as easy as pie. The USDA has an interactive map on their website. All you have to do is type in your zip code and voila, you'll know your zone. There are also numerous gardening apps and websites that can help you identify your zone. Once you know your zone, it's time for the fun part. Choosing your plants. Each plant has a zone range that it thrives in, and this information is usually available on seed packets, plant labels, or gardening websites. For instance, if you live in Zone 7, you'll want to choose plants that thrive in Zones 6 to 8. This range allows for slight variations in weather and ensures your plants will be comfortable in their environment. Remember, your planting zone is only one factor to consider. You'll also want to take into account your soil type, the amount of sunlight your garden receives, and the specific needs of each plant. But understanding your zone is a great starting point. Select plants that thrive in your zone for a fruitful gardening season. A post-winter garden assessment is essential to understand what worked last year and what didn't. As the frost recedes, it's time to put on your gardening boots and take a thoughtful stroll through your garden. This isn't just a casual walk, but an opportunity to observe, listen, and learn from your garden. Take note of the plants that thrived through the frosty days and those that didn't fare so well. This information will guide your choices for the coming planting season, helping you to select plants that are better suited to your garden's unique conditions. Next, assess the impact of winter on your garden. Look for signs of winter damage, such as broken branches, frost heave, or winter burn on evergreens. Keep an eye out for the unexpected too. Winter can often bring about changes that weren't there in the fall. Perhaps a tree has fallen, altering the amount of sunlight a part of your garden receives, or heavy snow has compacted a particular area of soil. Don't forget to also consider the layout of your garden. After a season of growth and a winter of dormancy, you may find that your garden layout no longer serves your needs or desires. Maybe that sunny spot by the fence would be a perfect place for a new vegetable patch. Or perhaps the shaded corner could become a cozy nook for ferns and hostas. Remember, a garden is always evolving, and that's part of its magic. So don't be afraid to dream big and plan changes to your garden layout. Maybe it's time to finally build that raised bed you've been dreaming of, or to create a winding path through your flower beds. Use this knowledge to make necessary changes and improvements to your garden. With a keen eye for detail and a little bit of planning, you'll be well on your way to a thriving garden that's ready for a new season of growth. Clearing your garden of weeds and debris is the first step in preparing your soil. It's like spring cleaning for your garden, a necessary task that sets the stage for a productive growing season. Imagine your garden as a blank canvas, and what you're doing now is preparing that canvas for your masterpiece. You begin by removing the old, dead plants. They've done their job, and now it's time for them to make way for the new. Next comes the weeds, those pesky invaders that compete with your plants for nutrients and space. Pull them out, making sure to get the roots, because even a small piece left behind can regenerate into a new weed. Then you'll want to clear out any debris like fallen leaves or branches that have accumulated over the winter. This not only cleans up the garden visually, but it also eliminates potential hiding places for pests and diseases. Think of this cleanup as a preemptive strike against garden problems. By removing the places where diseases and pests can thrive, you're making your garden a less inviting place for them. This is a crucial step because a clean, healthy garden is a productive garden. After all, your plants are the stars of the show, and they deserve a stage that's clean, clear, and ready for their performance. Remember, a well-prepared garden is a happy garden, and a happy garden is a productive garden. So get out there and start clearing. A clean garden bed paves the way for healthy plant growth. Healthy soil is the foundation of a thriving garden. It's the bedrock where your plants will lay their roots, draw nutrients, and ultimately grow. So let's dive into the nitty-gritty of soil preparation. First up, testing your soil's pH. This might sound like a high school science experiment, but it's actually quite simple. It's all about understanding the acidity or alkalinity of your soil, which in turn determines how well your plants can take up nutrients. You can find soil testing kits in most garden stores or online, and they are easy to use. Just remember, most plants prefer a pH that is slightly acidic to neutral, somewhere between 6 and 7. Once you know your soil's pH, it's time to amend the soil. This is where organic matter comes into play. Compost, well-rotted manure, or leaf mold can do wonders to your soil's health. They enrich the soil with nutrients, improve its structure and water-holding capacity, and encourage beneficial microorganisms. Simply spread a generous layer of organic matter over your garden beds and work it into the soil with a fork or tiller. If you're dealing with heavy clay soil, consider adding some sharp sand or grit to improve its drainage. On the flip side, if your soil is too sandy and drains too quickly, organic matter can help retain moisture and nutrients. Tilling or turning over your soil is the next step. It helps mix the organic matter into the soil, breaks up hard clods, and brings fresh soil to the surface. However, be mindful not to overdo it. Excessive tilling can disrupt the soil structure and harm beneficial soil organisms. Finally, let's prepare the bed for planting. Smooth the soil surface with a rake, remove any remaining debris, and break up large clods. This creates a welcoming bed for your seeds or seedlings to settle into. If it's still a bit early in the season and you're worried about a late frost, consider covering the bed with a layer of black plastic to warm up the soil. With your soil prepared, you're ready to plant. Remember, soil preparation is not a one-time thing. It's an ongoing process, one that continues throughout the growing season and beyond. But with this solid foundation, you're well on your way to a bountiful harvest. Selecting the right plants for your garden is crucial. Remember, not every plant is suited for every garden, and the key to a thriving garden is understanding what your plants need. Firstly, consider your planting zone. The United States Department of Agriculture has developed a plant hardiness zone map that divides North America into 11 separate zones. Each zone is 10 degrees Fahrenheit warmer or colder in an average winter than the adjacent zone. Knowing your zone can help you choose plants that will thrive in your garden's climate. Next, consider your soil conditions. Some plants prefer acidic soil while others thrive in alkaline or neutral soil. If you're unsure about your garden's soil type, consider getting a soil testing kit. This will help you understand the pH and nutrient levels in your soil, which can guide your plant choice. But it's not just about the soil and climate. You also need to think about the amount of sunlight your garden gets. Some plants need full sun to grow, while others prefer shade. Observe your garden throughout the day to understand where the sun hits and for how long. This will help you place your plants in the most beneficial spots. Water requirements are another vital factor. Some plants prefer a lot of water, while others can survive in dry conditions. Consider how often it rains in your area and how much time you can devote to watering your plants. Lastly, think about the size of the plants. Some plants can grow quite large and may overshadow smaller plants. Be sure to give each plant enough space to grow without competing for resources. Remember, a garden is a living, breathing ecosystem. Every plant you add contributes to this ecosystem. So choose plants that complement each other and contribute positively to your garden's overall health. So when it comes to choosing the right plants for your garden, consider your planting zone, soil conditions, sun and water requirements, and the size of the plants. Choose wisely and your garden will thank you. Now that you have chosen your plants, it's time to get them in the ground. Planting may seem straightforward, but using the correct techniques can make a world of difference in your garden's success. First, let's talk about seeds. When sowing seeds directly into your garden, it's crucial to consider planting depth. As a general rule, the depth should be about 3 times the diameter of the seed. Large seeds like beans or sunflowers need to be planted deeper, while tiny seeds like lettuce or poppies can be sown right on the surface. Spacing is another crucial factor. Each plant needs room to grow and flourish, so make sure you're not overcrowding your seeds. The seed packet will usually provide guidelines on spacing. Remember, it's better to give your plants a little extra room than to cram them too close together. For those of you starting with seedlings, the process is slightly different. When you're ready to transplant, dig a hole that's deep enough to cover the root ball of your seedling. Gently remove the seedling from its container, being careful not to damage the roots. Place it in the hole, making sure it's standing straight, then backfill with soil, pressing gently to remove any air pockets. Watering immediately after planting is key. This helps settle the soil and gives your plants a much-needed drink. For seeds, use a gentle spray to avoid washing them away. For seedlings, a good soak will help them settle into their new home. And finally, don't forget about labeling. It's easy to forget what you planted where, especially when you're managing a large garden. Simple garden markers can save you a lot of confusion down the line. With the right techniques, your plants will have a strong start. Remember, gardening is a journey. You're not just planting seeds or seedlings, you're planting future harvests, future blooms, and future joy. So take your time, do it right, and most importantly, enjoy the process. A garden requires regular care and attention. Just like any living thing, your plants need sustenance and care to grow and produce their best. One of the most fundamental aspects of this care is regular watering. However, watering is more than just turning on the hose. You need to consider the amount and frequency of watering, based on the specific needs of your plants, the climate, and the season. Mulching is another essential part of garden maintenance. Not only does it add a finished look to your garden, but it also provides numerous benefits. Mulch helps to retain soil moisture, suppress weeds, and as it breaks down, it adds valuable nutrients back into the soil. Pruning is a task that might seem daunting to some, but it's a vital part of maintaining plant health. By removing dead or overgrown branches, you're allowing your plants to focus their energy on new growth. It's like giving your garden a fresh start. The timing of pruning can vary depending on the type of plant, but generally, late winter to early spring is a good time for most. Remember, a well-maintained garden is a happy garden. It's not just about the initial planting, but the regular care and attention that you give to your garden that will determine its success. With consistent care, your garden will thrive. Preparing your garden for spring planting sets the foundation for a season of growth and harvest. Let's recap. Understand your planting zone, assess your garden post-winter, clear away debris, prepare the soil, choose the right plants, master planting techniques, and don't forget ongoing care and maintenance. It may seem daunting, but remember, every gardener started somewhere. Embrace the process, learn from each season, and soon enough, you'll be reaping the rewards of your hard work. With patience and care, your garden will flourish. Happy gardening.